Hello and welcome to episode 61 of
The Eldritch Podblast.
I am Margaret.
I'm John.
And howdy,
Howdy, y'all.
I'm pretty sure this is exactly how we did one of the intros a couple of episodes ago.
I think so.
Such is life.
It was the one that had the bad audio, though, so they didn't hear it.
It was
beautiful
it was the one that
audio.
had the bad audio. So there you go. We didn't have the audio issue again, and
No.
hopefully we're not
We'll
having the
never have it
audio issue
again.
again now.
Otherwise, somebody's going to pay in blood.
Who's that? Don't ask questions you don't want the answers to.
I need a blood sacrifice.
So, hi,
Hi, everyone.
Oh, hi, everyone.
Sorry, blood sacrifice. I mean,
That
blood
was
sacrifice. I mean,
blood sacrifice. Sorry, blood sacrifice. Sorry. Slip of the tongue. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? What you been up to? Happy Monday.
Is it Monday's episode? It is Monday's episode. It is Monday's episode.
What have you done with your weekend? You had a good time?
Very good.
You frolicked?
Very good.
Making the most of your last days? Good.
Even though you don't know it is the last day.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I'm warm.
It's so warm. It's
Listen,
unbelievably warm.
we always say this, but it's been summer here in UK,
Yeah.
and this is like the least summery it's been.
Yeah.
For as long as I can remember.
July was very, very rainy, and
Mhm.
August is now beginning to get very, very hot.
Yeah, but it's like humid hot. You
Yeah.
know when there's been a lot of rain, so it's really
It's just
humid.
really humid.
It's like that, and
Not like
God,
like,
it's hot.
just everywhere's just sticky.
Yeah, real
And
sticky.
It's not very nice.
All of my bits are sticky.
Oh,
you know?
no.
It's the truth. Hey, it's the truth.
The bits be sticky.
All the folds, all the crannies, they're sticky. That's
not the cranny.
not-
What about the nooks?
Not the nooks.
What
Oh
about
my
the
God,
nooks as
we
well?
don't talk about the
No,
nooks.
sticky nooks. Sticky nooks.
I'm so warm.
That's a nice breeze, though,
That is a nice breeze.
on my legs.
I'm absolutely boiling.
So warm. So unbelievably warm.
How would it? I'm so sorry. I have really bad hay fever at the minute as well. So I'm
Get rid of it.
there's a lot of coughing. There's a lot of sneezing.
Yeah.
So I apologize in
That's
advance
okay.
for that. I know you've been suffering the same ailments. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, the
You don't need
exact
to know.
same.
You don't
Anything
need
that we
to
have,
know
you
why.
have.
Yeah. What have we been up to? We went to the cinema.
Yes.
We didn't watch Barbie or Oppenheimer.
We watched neither of those two.
We watched Talk to Me, which is a new A24 horror movie.
Yeah.
And it's directed by two Australian dudes who have
Yeah.
had their like breakout movie, and man,
Man, was it a breakout movie?
what
a great movie.
a movie. If you liked movies like Hereditary, if you liked more psychological thrillers like The Babadook, you will
Yeah.
definitely like Talk to Me.
It's a little bit more Babadooky
It
than
is
it is
definitely
Hereditary.
Babadoosy.
Babadoosy.
Not
Baba
the
Badoosy.
Babadoosy.
So the thing is with Hereditary is a lot of people found it like almost funny because it was so extreme and so it's like the same as like Midsummer.
Yeah, the same as Midsummer.
Midsummer was like almost like it's like a fever dream,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
hallucinogenic trip.
Yeah.
In a way, it's
Yeah.
just all it's like really crazy. And for some people, that's not scary. That's just funny.
Totally.
With things like the Babadook,
Mhm.
it's like it's just scary.
I think people found Babadook even funnier,
See,
to be honest.
Babadook was actually a really great film.
It
that
was
got
slagged
slagged off.
Yeah, it did get slagged off to filth. But
This is less weird than both of them.
agreed. Definitely less weird. I think it's very clear in what it's trying to do and what it's
Yes.
saying.
And I think like those two both like had a very like weird style.
Yes.
But they were like horror
Yes.
movies with a weird style. This
Yes.
is just like a horror movie.
Yeah, it's just a horror movie, and
It's not a jump scare.
It's not scary. It's like it's creepy.
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's
it's
creepy
really
and
good,
weird, and it'll make you feel uneasy.
Yes, it's very graphic. I will say
yes.
it's very graphic. So if you could deal with how graphic Hereditary was, it's probably a little bit more graphic than that.
Yeah.
This movie is sponsored by the Podblast.
Yeah, we sponsored.
We sponsored Talk to Me.
There you go.
There
We
you
sponsored
go.
A24 film. But yeah, it's clear in its message. It's done very well. There's if you like sound design, when you listen to it, there's just like really good layering and good use of sound, and it's just really well done. And it's not like cringy and weird. It's just creepy and scary.
Yeah,
and
it
good
is.
fun.
It's just good fun, good clean fun. Definitely would recommend
100% would recommend.
if you like those kind of movies, I would definitely recommend it.
Loved it.
I think we're going to go see Barbie. Abby, who plays in our D&D game, she works in a theater.
She does.
And I think they're getting it for a few days, so we're going to watch that at some point. There was something we watched a trailer for, and I was like, I wouldn't mind watching that. I can't remember what it was though. I can't remember. So that's really all we've been up to.
Yeah, we did that. We've been playing WoW, we've been playing Valorant, and now, because one of our friends is very insistent
she
and
is
very persuasive.
Have you ever heard of the award-winning MMORPG Final Fantasy 14?
Our friend is very persuasive, and they have gotten us to the point where we are going to go back and try Final Fantasy tonight, actually.
I loved Final Fantasy. I absolutely loved it. I loved the pace of it. I loved the drama of it all. I loved the whimsy of it all.
I did love the drama of it all.
Yeah, the drama of it all.
I loved the thing is, right, when I got to the cutscenes and I got to the special bits and the cool like plot moments, I was like, this is really cool. But the problem is, like, because when we started, everyone was like, don't boost.
Yeah,
you need to follow the MSQ.
Yeah.
If you've got nothing else to do, MSQ till the end, so you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And like, I've heard now they've actually trimmed out a bunch of the fetchy stuff.
Yes.
Because it was very fetchy.
There was a lot of fetch quests.
And like, it was great because the thing is, you do all the fetching and you do all the talking.
And then you
get
to have the party.
And then you get to have the big like cutscenes and stuff. And some of the cutscenes are like
really good,
5 minutes long. And
I
was actually like engaged in all of the story.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it was all the stuff in the middle.
Agreed. I agree. I completely agree. So we're gonna give it another go.
Yeah.
And how's everyone enjoying Baldur's Gate? Everyone's playing Baldur's Gate, and I wish we were, but we're just going to give it a little bit of time just to kind of money.
Yeah,
I don't have anything else to say about other than money.
It's like
really,
50-60 quid, which means it's like 100
we have to like
100,
double it up.
Because obviously it would be sad if one of us just played and one of us watched.
Exactly.
So we want to play it together.
Yeah.
And you know, games come out and then usually like a couple of months after, they go on sale.
Yeah.
So
that's what we're hoping.
It gets a little cheaper usually, so we're just gonna wait for that.
Yeah. So hope you're all enjoying that. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it.
It looks insane.
It looks amazing,
amazing.
I can't wait to play it.
It looks very much in the same vein as Divinity.
Yes,
which
well, it's
we
done
loved.
by the same studio.
Yeah, same studio.
Larian Studios, who did Divinity.
And we love Divinity.
We love Divinity.
Divinity
and
we loved it.
We hate D&D.
We despise. I hate D&D. I love Divinity, but I hate D&D.
And I also, the photo ops for MCM Comic Con for Critical Role went live, and I got a photo op with Liam O'Brien. So I'm very happy about that. I was torn between Matt and Ashley and Liam. And I settled on Liam in the end because Liam just hits different, you know? Hits different.
There's just something about Liam.
Yeah, there is.
Like, I feel like, especially watching all the early stuff, he was the one that realized, I think, how much it meant to people.
Yeah.
And like, you know, he was the first person in that campaign to have like an in-character relationship. And like, I don't know, he just sort of took it to the next level.
I agree.
And then everybody like caught up to him.
Followed suit. Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. There's just something about him that I just love, and I think he's a really cool guy.
I agree, and there's kind of like an air of like, I don't know, like a tragical whimsy about him, and I love that. So I can't wait. So yeah, if anyone's going to MCM Comic Con, we'll see you there, won't we?
Yeah.
We'll see you there.
We've already spoke to a few people about a meetup that we're going to do.
Yeah.
So on the Saturday, we're going to do a little meetup.
Yeah,
and
probably.
Say hi to everyone.
Yeah.
And that'll be amazing.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see you all. I'd love to meet some of the Squad Blasters because,
me too.
you know, this year you changed our lives a little bit. So I'd like to thank you for that.
I'd love to hold you in my hands and squeeze you, you know? Oh! Entity! Squeeze him!
Squeeze him, give him the squeeze.
So that's it, really.
Yeah.
But kind of before we get on to topic, the homebrew challenge for a corrupted god, deity / patron has closed today, of when you're seeing it.
Yes.
So don't enter anymore. It's
more
done.
Entries.
It's done.
It's done. It's finished. You'll have to wait till Thursday to find out what the next one is.
Yeah.
No, that's a lie.
No. Next Monday. Next Monday, we'll roll our last one in the corrupted homebrew challenge. If you want to go and take a look at all the previous winners and take a look at all the previous entries, they're all in there. There is a channel in a Discord that's dedicated to it completely. Yeah. And thank you so much to everyone who's entered. excited.
Yeah.
And good luck. We'll announce the winner on the 31st of August.
There's 3,258 of you currently subscribed to this channel. I checked before I began. Yet there's only 869 people in the Discord.
What does that mean? That math ain't mathing.
Why aren't you?
Entity, make them sign up to Discord.
Make them click the buttons. But no, seriously, it's full of just a bunch of people who like to talk about D&D, share the character ideas, DMs who talk about issues they have or wonderful players that they have. And there are campaigns that go on in there. The Homebrew Challenge goes on in there. We will end up doing some Patreon stuff in there as well.
Yep.
So if you want to join the Discord, the invite link is down below.
Well said. Touche.
Cheers to that.
That's what I think. That's what I say. So I guess we have a campaign update.
Okay, this is going to be a bit difficult.
So this is a bit of a weird one.
Because we're recording this slightly later in the week than normal.
Yes.
Normally we record Tuesday.
Exactly, before we play the session on Wednesday. But we're recording late, so...
We've actually had 2 sessions.
And we actually had our final session last week as well.
Not the wrap-up session,
but the final story session. Yeah. So it's going to be... I guess if you never knew, then it wouldn't matter. But for us, it feels a bit bad having to do like the second to last update now. But you know, it's too much to cram it all into one.
Yeah. And
it wouldn't be genuine if we didn't give you this last update. So next Monday, you will get our final story campaign session update.
Where the story is finished and now we're just wrapping up role-playing. Character sort of like what they were going to do after the fact and all that good stuff.
And then on Wednesday, we're going to have our very final session ever.
Yeah.
The wrap-up session where we all just see where our characters go, and I'm upset thinking about it. We don't
need to think about it. We can think about the session that we did last week.
Yes. So the campaign is over as of you seeing it now, but we'll give you a proper update.
We'll tell you what happens in that. We'll recap last week's session, and then next Monday we'll recap this week's session.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not sure how we're going to do it because there's going to be a lot to talk about in about the last campaign update, and I know you don't mind how long they go on, but is it going to be like an extra long episode? Are we going to put out just an extra video purely just about the campaign update?
Maybe we could do that, yeah.
Like maybe just on the...
We could just do a dedicated campaign update video.
Yeah. Not you know, it will probably only be like an hour long or something like that.
But it'll be an hour of the campaign.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to hear about the campaign update, we do still want to be honest, the end of the campaign crept up much quicker than I think we thought it was going to. And we do still want to do the episode where we get in the whole party and we all talk about it. Just logistically, that's difficult for us. So I don't know if that's still going to happen. And if it does, I don't know when. But y'all don't care. I'm sure you'll be happy. Either way.
Just getting some videos anyway.
Because you always are. So thank you.
Yeah. So thank you.
So this campaign update.
Yes.
This was session 37, and we had finished on the last campaign update. We had all had the last night together. We had all discussed in character what was going to happen. We had all gone to Yggdrasil and met Mimir. We learnt about Odin and his glimpse into the future. And then we went into Asgard. We had to... There was a Sphinx, right?
Yes, there was a Sphinx.
This is the bit that we missed out of the last campaign update when we were like, it's too long.
Yeah.
There was a Sphinx. There was loads of jaunty riddles that we had to do.
I'm going to fire them off here real quick.
Go on.
So each person got a riddle and they had to repeat, they had to say something back to me that rhymed.
Yep.
And it was the reason they wanted to finish the journey.
So we had to, on the spot, come up with rhymes to say back, which was so hard.
Yes, they did it together and they did a very good job.
We did.
But
I'm not going to read out the ones that we all did because I haven't prepared that.
Okay, I might mess it up, so give me a break.
Go on.
So this is Rayla's. So, the one chosen by the moon and the stars, soon to be hopefully walking on the plains of Asgard, do you fear it will be lonely in the sky, no sister, family, or friends to comfort you when you cry? After defeating the creature of the depths, gnawing at the roots from where your world rests, tell me why I should let you take your next steps.
That made me sad.
So that was Rayla's. So that was Rayla's. Then TRP.
I don't know. Jack came up with all of these, by the way.
TRP. Well, I wrote all your backstories, so that's why I was able to come up with them. So TRP, the one chosen to be queen, with her appearance kept so squeaky clean. Same cannot be said for your journey. To me, your hands look a little dirty. Your parents brought back because of self-control you lacked. In the plains of Asgard never has walked a vampire. So tell me why I should let that transpire.
Oh, yeah. You are so good at this.
You met her. The one changed by the witch in the woods for a purpose, was it good? He didn't even know at Jotunheim he arrived, but did not put on a good show. The weight of guilt lies heavy on your shoulders. I can see them there like two great big boulders. Now tell me why I should let you pass. If not, off the...
Go on.
Sorry. Now tell me why you should be let pass. If not, off the bridge you will be cast.
Yeah, you fucking tell him.
But in the moment, I didn't stutter once.
No, he didn't. He didn't say. You did it in a voice as
Yeah,
well. What was the voice?
I'm not doing it right now.
Oh no.
So Igneous, last one. The one born from this very earth left home after questioning his worth. Off he went, after offering so little, a questionable deal, leaving him so brittle. Yet you stand in front of me with the hammer of a god. To me, that feels a little odd. He owes a lot to a particular friend. If it were not for her, he would surely have met his end. Now, to Asgard you wish to travel. Why should I let you skedaddle?
Skedaddle. How jaunty is all of that?
So I gave a little quips after they did theirs and said like happy things, but then the last thing that they said after they went over, he said, last but not least, a blast this has been, Asgard bound, the end of your journey will be found, the tale of your heroics will be told. The tales of your heroics will be told for years to come. Unless you fail, then all will be undone.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum. So they all gave me beautiful little poems.
You know what? I asked ages ago. I was like, can everyone send me them so we can read them out? Forgot. I'm so sorry.
Doesn't matter.
We worked together. Matthew came up with...
Matthew did a really, really great one.
Like... Honestly, I did not have him down as a wordsmith.
Yeah, he was
wonderful.
Pretty good, actually.
He did a really wonderful job. Yeah,
supping mead in the halls of Valhalla and all sorts. It was
really
fantastic.
Good. It was really, really.
They were
really
all
good.
great, and
they were honestly. Josh as well. Josh pulled it out of his ass because I was the first one to go. I think I was the most discombobulated.
Yeah,
so mine came out like no, I'm not going to say shit. a little bit shit.
No, it's because at the beginning. Margaret was the first to approach, and you weren't allowed. You were allowed to approach one at a time, and he would question them. And I was just like, work together and figure it out. And everyone was working together, but because Matthew went like last, he had time and he was writing it all out. To actually
write it out, and mine was kind of like
yours was
everyone was just throwing words in.
A joint effort between everyone. Yeah.
But everyone did really, really great. Yeah. So we get past the Sphinx.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Heimdall.
Heimdall.
Which, if you know, is the protector of the Bifrost in Norse mythology, but he's not a Sphinx.
Yeah, no.
He's actually played by Idris Elba in
is he,
in the Marvel movies. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
And he's a dude.
So we went through. We actually crossed the path. We decided to send a message to Odin, being like, "Yo, where are you?" And Odin was like, "Yo, I'm. Listen, you'll work it out.
You'll find it.
Can you hurry? Because she's outside.
Yeah, she's over the wall.
She's over the wall. So we knew that Angerboda at this point had also gotten into Asgard. We had assumed she had because we saw the Bifrost open. So we are traversing through. Have you ever played Valheim? Because there is an area in Valheim called the Plains, which is like, I feel like... first of all, Valheim's super north-based, right? North-based. And you said that there was animals like kicking around that were like yaks, and they looked like what are they called in Valheim? Oh my god, locks. The locks. They look like the locks in Valheim. They look like the
lockses.
It was a beautiful sight. You described Asgard as a place full of like golden fields where it's always like twilight.
Yeah,
no, it's always like golden hour.
Golden hour, just as the sun sets or the sun rises in the morning. That sort of really beautiful,
like golden
hour that you get. It was just constantly that.
Yeah, and
it
never
was changed.
Beautiful. So we're going through the fields, and I think it's Priestess who gets her foot stuck in something, and we look down, and we're basically stuck in a load of tar. And again, if you've played Valheim in the plains, you know that there is nasty little tar pits with nasty little oozes.
Yeah.
So we had a bit of a combat. Well, we had a combat with some oozes, basically.
Some souped up black puddings.
Souped up black puddings,
They
baby.
had a little bit more HP, and they had a like breath attack as well.
Yeah, and they didn't do the thing where they disintegrated armor because that's lame.
No, because I hate doing that.
And we had the fight, and they had the breath attack, which we all named the Bloff.
The Bloff
and
attack.
we were like, is he going to Bloff
Is he gonna
on
Bloff?
you? And you know when you're all like nearly 30 years old and you're sat there making Bloff jokes?
Bloff jokes.
He's going to Bloff all over you.
Playing D&D and making
like,
Bloff jokes.
Making Bloff jokes. You get Bloffed.
Get Bloffed, baby.
So we had that combat, and that was good, clean fun.
Yeah.
We traveled a little bit further, and then we had to long rest.
Mm.
We all had a long rest. There wasn't really
No, you've missed out the worst round of combat known to man.
I've missed out the worst. Oh my God, we mentioned this in Thursday's episode.
So, like I said,
my
I
God.
ran black puddings, and I kept most of the stats the same, but I gave them like some extra hit points and a extra attack to make them slightly more dynamic and at their level with all their magic items that were just going to destroy them with the HP they had. So I just put a little bit more on, and they were fighting 4 of them. So I ran them. If you know a black pudding, it has 1 intelligence. Okay.
And I also want to preface this: Jack never runs. Sorry, there's flies.
I don't really run cannon monsters.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do black oozes that were basically tar bits, and that was already sort of a thing. So I just like changed them slightly. So I don't normally run cannon monsters.
So, Josh. We were actually, to be honest, it was a bit of a tough fight for us just because of the way they kept getting their breath back and like loads of things kept happening. Josh was like, right, they're grouped up and they also split when you hit them with like physical damage, which
lightning
obviously
damage or slashing damage.
Only thing I really do.
You do slashing and piercing.
I do slashing and piercing.
Yeah.
And Josh was like, they're grouped up. I'm gonna try something.
Everyone was like, "Oh, fireball!"
And he was like, "No, something better.
Not this time.
Not this time.
I'm gonna use a little spell I like to call Synaptic Static,
which is a 5th level spell."
And I was like, "Ooh, nice!"
Great. We were like, "Yeah, that's a great shout."
When there's a spell that we don't normally use like all the time, like fireball.
Yeah,
like,
it's exciting.
Yeah, we've used fireball so many times, I know exactly how it works. But something with Synaptic Static, I was like, let me just read it just in case. I read over it, and it says, "This spell doesn't." This spell doesn't affect anyone who's got less than 2 intelligence. And obviously every single one of them had 1 intelligence. So he just fucking burnt a
5th level spell slot.
And it did nothing.
Oh my God, it was. I can't stress how devastating
I was like,
it was.
Josh, I'm so sorry. And he was like, he brushed himself off.
He was like, all right, no,
like,
that's fine.
He was
okay.
like, Jack, I understand. You know.
He was like, I should have read the spell and I should have guessed it's fine. Josh was very good about it,
super
right?
good about it.
I probably would have cried about it, but Josh did great about it.
He's like, I'll burn a sorcery point and I'm going to quicken spell my cantrip that you gave me, Jack, which is Sorcerer's Burst, which is...
No. He hits it with Mjolnir. He hits it with Mjolnir as a bonus action. Mjolnir does 2d10.
No.
It was Mjolnir, wasn't it?
No, it was Sorcerer's Burst.
Are you sure?
I'm telling you, it was Sorcerer's Burst, and I'll tell you why it's even funnier. Because it was Sorcerer's Burst, and it's 3d10 as a cantrip, and it explodes. the dice explode in a 9 and a 10. So he's got a d4 to his attack as he's up high because he's flying.
Yep.
He slings down the spell, and one looks really hurt. And I'm like, go for it. I was like, yeah, Josh.
We were like, oh, you're going to kill it, Josh.
I was like, yeah, that hit, mate. So in this turn, he's done no damage with a 5th level spell, and he's hit with his cantrip, and he's like, okay, yeah, sweet. And he rolls the dice. He rolls 3d10. He gets 1, 1, 2. So he does 4 damage. And I'm like, Josh, I'm so sorry. It has 5 hit points. I turn the tile around and it says 5 on it. And he's like, he was like, I would have rather have missed than it and leave it with
leave 1 hit point.
And do 4 damage on a possible 30. They can explode as well.
It's so bad, Josh.
Synaptic Static, completely wasted on multiple targets,
and
then hits with a cantrip. It does 4 damage and it has 5 hit points.
He was so devastated.
I used to think you come to D&D to do these amazing things, and then
God.
sometimes that happens.
Sometimes.
But, you know, like, I'll remember that moment for the rest of my life.
He's like, I'm never playing again.
I'm not gonna. I don't care if it's the next session next week. The last one, I'm not coming.
I'm not coming back.
But yeah, they pretty much roll the combat quite easily after that.
Poor Josh.
And you move on.
We move on.
Yeah.
And we have a long rest. There wasn't really a lot of roleplay, to be honest.
There was bits.
Yeah, you know, we had kind of wrapped up really the session before. So we go to sleep, we all take our watches. On Rayla's watch, you say that I hear quite far in the distance a reverse sucking noise.
No, you hear a sucking noise.
Was that just a sucking noise?
Yeah, you heard like a.
So of course we're like,
and there's a big
the Bloffin's back.
The Bloff, it's Bloffin time. And there's a big flash of blue light.
And there's a flash of blue light,
Yeah.
but Rayla at this point, well, first of all of us at this point, we knew that Angerboda was here. We knew that it could have possibly been her, and we were like, we don't want a repeat of like the nighttime combat.
Maybe she was getting bluffed.
Maybe she was getting
Maybe
bluffed.
She was in the middle of getting bluffed.
So we were like, Rayla went and woke everyone up, but was like, let's not investigate tonight. It's too far away.
Be mindful.
We will check it out in the morning. So we do. We go to sleep. We all get up and we make our way over to where that was. And as we get closer, I think Hermeta's the first person to go in and see what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And Hermeta sees a body that has been like completely drained of everything. It's like a emaciated, sucked dry.
It's hard to say the word sucked dry without making
dry.
it sound very sexy.
Bloff.
Very sexual.
Like, completely sucked dry. And we had seen this once before. We had seen this when Angerboda had used the spark on Thor and had sucked him dry. So we were like, right, this is Angerboda's doing. She has done this with the spark then. And I rolled another perception check, and you say, like, as I look around, I see that there is like 1, 10, 50, 100, 200. There is hundreds and hundreds of spots in this tall grass that it has happened. So we're like, something bad has happened. Were these Odin's guards? Was Angerboda taking power from like the fauna around? So we kind of get closer to where we know we need to be, because we can see this giant wall up, right? And this is the wall that Odin had referred to. We go up, and there's like a parting in the grass, and we see 2 familiar figures who we had met before. We see a big boar, and we see King Frey.
Mm-hmm.
King Frey's back is to us, and now that we're in this setting, we see that all the sucked dry bodies are people from Vanaheim. It's his whole army. His whole army has been decimated by what we can only assume is the spark, by Angerboda. But obviously, Angerboda wanted to liberate the people of Vanaheim. She wanted to work with Frey. He's King Frey of Vanaheim. That's why they're working together. And you describe it that he is like not paying attention to us, and we can see that his like shoulders are shaking and he's crying, and he is like cold and dirty. And when he does turn to look at us, his eyes are like red and his face is like tear stained. And it becomes obvious to us in that moment that Angerboda has betrayed him. She got all these people here to take their life force for the last time, to empower herself in the spark. And Rayla just walks straight up to him, and his boar, like you say, he does this thing where the boar's like I
don't know if I made that noise.
Aggressively towards me, and King Frey just kind of like knocks him.
Just gives him a nudge.
And tells him to knock it off.
Yeah.
And Rayla's obviously like, what's happened? What's happened here? And I can't quite remember what King Frey said back to that.
We don't have to do conversation verbatim, word for word.
Yeah.
But he said, he confirmed that what you had thought had happened.
Yeah.
Like, she betrayed him.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. And he said, like, I led them here. It was me who made this deal. I led them here to free them, to give them the freedom back, and have justice served to the person who took it from them, which was Odin. Yeah, all I've actually done is made another bad decision. My life has just been bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. When his sister, Odin's wife, was wed, sorry, he was really young, and he was given the kingdom to take care of, and he was just not equipped.
Yeah.
And the nation just sort of fell. And then he sort of had a second coming.
Yeah.
And like rose up, and this was like him making his name for himself again.
Yeah.
Like the king who lost everything but like gave us it all back.
Yeah.
And he's just brought them here and led them straight into a trap.
Yeah. Then Rayla was obviously said, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry for your people. And the top and end of it, she was like, fight with us. Like, one last time, fight with us. She's, if not for us, because you owe nothing to us, do it for your people.
Yeah.
And put this right. And his argument was, how do I know that this isn't another mistake?
Yeah.
How do I know joining you and going up against Angerboda
isn't just another mistake?
And Rayla said to that, I can't tell you that. I don't have the answer. It might be a mistake, but... and then Priestess steps in, and Priestess was like, it could be a mistake, but at least you're trying. And...
there was sort of... I think one of you said it. I think it was you. You used the Hrungnir line. Because he was like, it could be another mistake. And he was like, we need to stop thinking about like what's wrong and right.
Yeah.
And do what you believe in.
Yeah, I think Rayla said pretty much exactly the Hrungnir line. Like, it might be a mistake, but you have to act on what you believe in and what you care for, and you cared for your people. So it doesn't matter if it's a mistake; you have to do it.
And after a little bit of back and forth and some persuasion checks,
I think actually Priestess saying like you're trying. At least you can say you tried.
Yeah.
And there was like I think that was the final thing that kind of broke his wall down of him being like, yeah, I did try actually, and no one's ever recognized that I've tried.
I've always tried. Whether or not it was the right thing or not, I've always been trying to do the best by my people, but it's just been failure after failure.
So Rayla asks again, she says, fight with us. And I roll a persuasion check, and no, I didn't. No, yeah, he just agreed.
No, you did roll a persuasion check.
The persuasion check was... kind of as the conversation's closing up, Rayla was like, Odin never meant this.
So that was it, yeah.
She was like, Odin was going to come back for you. We've seen it. Something just went wrong. So maybe at the end of all of this, you can lend him an ear. And I rolled a persuasion check and I rolled high. And he agreed. He said he would listen to what Odin had to say. And it's sad now, thinking about how everything ended. No spoilers, but it's thinking of how the campaign has ended. It's sad, and I really felt for Frey, to be honest, and I think Rayla really felt for Frey, and Rayla is now at the point where she's done with the complete aggression. She's done with the going feral and losing her mind. Like, she understands now what she wants in her life, and she understands her purpose in life. And I think she's going through, I say going through, it's over now, but I really wanted to try and make her more empathetic towards people. I think that's something I really tried to do. And I think with King Frey, that was like the last, the last one for her as well, breaking down the wall of that. So King Frey agreed. And, his boar came along too.
Yeah.
His boar's called Hildisvini.
Yeah.
Hildisvini.
Like King Frey in Norse law has a boar called Hildisvini.
We love Hildisvini.
And
there was a lot of jokes about hold my weenie.
Yeah. Well, a lot of jokes from Matthew saying hold my weenie.
Hold my weenie.
And I was like, rocks fall on you when you die. But yeah, so he was a Beastmaster Ranger.
Yes. Hildisvini has joined the fight, and so has King Frey.
Yeah.
So we join forces, we have a moment, and then we have to scale this wall, and there was basically
many checks.
There was many checks.
And many like anti-magic fields,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
couldn't just fly the
yeah.
whole way up and stuff like that.
There was a lot, but
they
we
got
scaled
they
it.
got very creative, which is what I wanted.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they got to the top.
We got to the top, and as we got to the top of this like mountainous wall, we looked down onto the city of Asgard, and you just describe it that there is like, I think Priestess was the last up, maybe, or Hermeta was the last up. And as he climbed the wall and was like, "Oh, we did it," you describe it that he looked over to us, who were all looking down, and like our faces were cast with like an orange glow. And as he joined us and looked down, we could see that the entire city was just in flame. It had just been completely set ablaze, and people were like screaming. There was people dying. There was people fighting. It was a mess. Angerboda had laid waste to the city of Asgard, as she promised she would. And you said that there was kind of like cable carts going back and forth, because obviously we're on this huge wall, and the cable cart actually pulls up shortly after we arrive, and the door opens, and 2 guards fall out dead. Like, everyone has been killed. So we apologize to them. We pull them out, kick them off the wall. We don't kick them off the wall. We get in, and that's where we ended the session. Yeah. We ended the session going into the burning city of Asgard. In a cable car
and going down towards the city of Asgard.
Yeah.
And yes, it is exactly like God of War Ragnarok scene. When they get to the top of the wall and go in the cable car down to...
I don't know what that means.
You don't know, but yeah, that's what I got. Okay, yeah.
So that's it.
And then the next session is in Asgard and the final fight.
Next session is the final session, friends. And again, it's so sad, kind of going over that now, knowing how everything ended, to be honest. It's messing me up just thinking about it. And Matthew said when he went into work the next day and told everyone, he said he got emotional talking about it too. I get emotional just thinking about it. So strap in.
There was lots of tears at the table.
There was lots of tears. Everyone had a big cry. Yeah. It was really good.
I think I was really, because it's tough when you come to an end of a campaign. I've said this a few times now, because I've talked to a few people about the campaign ending. And I was like, you want to make it this humongous, epic thing. It needs to be the most savage battle, and oh my God. And it's like, I think that sometimes you get a little fucking hung up on that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be that, because what it needs to be is, like, it already feels epic. You can cough. Sorry. It already feels epic because of how long it's taken to get here and why we're here and the story that's led us here. So it's just like, do what you think is right and play it out how you think it's right, and like give the story the conclusion you want to give it, and it'll feel epic anyway because everyone knows it's the last session. Like, we were going in the session, everyone was like, man, I'm so nervous. And like, I didn't do anything. I didn't have like eerie music on. They were just sitting at the table like, man, I'm just so nervous, because they knew sort of like what was at stake. We knew
what the situation was. Yeah.
And you know, I was proud of myself at how it ended.
Yeah, you should have been. You should have been. It was
I thought it ended well.
It did. It ended very well. It ended so much better, I think, than I had thought it was going to. I will leave that again. I will probably make the decision shortly after this whether we're going to put out just a short episode, just an extra episode in the week about the full campaign update.
Yeah.
We don't know yet, but if by any chance you haven't filmed it by the time this goes out, let us know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to cough. Hello. I had to cough so badly.
It was a big cough.
My voice is probably going to sound so weird now, and I apologize for that. So, with that all out of the way, 40 minutes in, shall we get into today's topic? Oh, no. I don't know what I've done.
Yes, let's get into today's topic.
As you can see from the title, we're doing D&D Hot Takes. We're doing the unpopular opinions.
These are my favorite ones.
Yeah, you really liked this. You really enjoyed this.
I don't know why.
I do too. I do too. Like, between this and the Am I the Assholes, you guys love these videos. Yeah. Which, so do we. These are really, really fun. So we're glad you like them.
Yeah.
Again, this is called D&D Hot Takes or Unpopular Opinions or whatever. If any of these are your opinions and you agree with any of them, just know that's completely fine.
Yeah, that's up to you. It's your life. You live it, unless they are racist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic, any of the phobics, any of the isms.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Indeed.
But if they are those, it's wrong.
Get out of here.
And you can tell me otherwise, and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I've got the microphone.
So, yeah, if you use any of these, if you like the sound of any of these, that's completely fine. D&D is so subjective. These are just our opinions.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of being on the internet.
An
You can have different opinions.
upon the internet?
No.
Never.
So, let's just get into it. So, this is number 1. I don't know how many we have. I haven't written numbers again. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, I'll keep numbers. That's my job.
This is a mix of ones that have been sent in, and this is a mix of things from the Reddit. This is a submission from Ghostboi, and he goes by he, they.
Thank you, Ghostboi. He, they.
Thank you, Ghostboi. So trigger warning, mentions of essay and general prejudice.
Okay.
I am really tired of dark fantasy in D&D and media in general leading to SA and fantasy racism. Yes, for it to be dark fantasy, there needs to be some darker elements, but it doesn't need to be like that to be in the genre. It's possible to have dark fantasy through plenty of other themes and imagery. There's been too many games that I've played in where I've been bad for making certain character choices because of in-game racism, homophobia, etc., etc. This is fantasy, a genre defined by its creativity, and you'd think that people would come up with things that would keep the genre fresh instead of adding in some game bigotry and unnecessary essay and calling it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Agreed.
100%
This
agree.
is not a. This is,
100% agree.
in my opinion, not a hot take.
Not a hot take at all.
How many times do we say this?
How many times have we said this? Look, like, I've just run a campaign that was very, very dark and miserable. Like, there was a lot of very sad
There was a lot of misery in it.
There was a lot of, people getting, like, pushed out of their homes and losing their lands and, like, crumblings of allegiances. And at no point did I racially abuse anyone.
No.
At no point was I a misogynist.
No.
At no point was I a bigot. You know what I mean? Like, you can touch on dark themes and dark topics and have a really, like, not miserable campaign, but a heavy hitting.
At a deep, rich, like, we love the misery. We love a bit of misery every now and then.
Look at the giants, literally forced out of their home and oppressed to live in a land that they didn't want to live in. But I didn't go around making up slurs of their names and like things like that. Like, you can have those themes and not do racism. And if you do racism, I did say do. If you do racism, like, it can be done in a respectful manner that isn't offensive to marginalized communities. A lot of the time I stay clear of it because, look, I'm not a person of color. No,
you're just a white
I'm
dude.
Just a fucking white guy on the internet.
Yeah.
And I've never been subjected to that, so it's not really my place to touch on that.
No, I agree.
But I can still touch on, like, oppression without it being racist.
Completely. That's a really great example, like the giants in your campaign and the whole topic of essay as well. I don't think there is a single way to do essay in a tasteful way. I don't think there is any space for it in the game whatsoever.
I just don't know what you're trying to achieve by putting it in.
I know. And again, we mentioned this before. We said how people try to use, like, the Holocaust to be, like, edgy and, like, really dark. And, like, I went there. I can't help but feel like...
No one's impressed.
Yeah, a lot of the games where something like essay and racism is involved, it's like, they're like, what button can I press to make it seem like I'm, like, the edgiest person on earth?
I'm brave and I cover these topics. It's like, nobody thinks that about you.
It's
literally only you who thinks that about yourself.
And again, it's intent. It's the intent behind everything,
like,
right?
Why are you wanting to cover these topics?
Why? And, we read out a horror story where someone in the D&D campaign wanted to play a 14-year-old girl who had been essayed and killed. And it's like,
why?
What's the intent behind that? What do you want out of that? Yeah. And I agree. I think there is so many ways. This goes without saying. Yeah. This goes without saying, in my opinion.
Like, again, white man, not person of color. Like, I am not the person to speak on that topic at all.
Yeah.
But there is ways, and it has been done, and it is not impossible to highlight racism without it being, like, done in horrendous taste.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah.
If you are going to do those things, you have to make sure it's okay with everybody at the table.
Yeah.
But, like,
and you have to think about why you want to do it as well.
And, like, if you put in an essay, like, you actually genuinely have to ask yourself, why am I putting it in? Yeah. Like, what am I achieving? Who am I trying to show this to?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Because, like, I just don't think there's any need to put it in because nobody wants to be reminded of it. Nobody wants it to be at the forefront of their mind. Nobody wants to experience it. So why am I putting it in?
And it's like, if you're going to what you think the darkest things in real life are, Why do you have to do that?
Why?
That is one of the darkest things that could happen in real
of course
life.
it is.
So why does that have to translate? There is so many ways. And Ghostboi, I'm with you. Ghostboi,
yeah, very restful Ghostboi.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wreck this fucking.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
but like there are like that's it. And I'm not being like take an example from me. I'm great at it, but like I've done 2 campaigns now where I've covered like dark topics that aren't essay.
Yeah.
That aren't,
completely.
That aren't
and
racism.
I'd like to think you never would.
No, because I just don't need to.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I can tell a dark story and I can tell a story that has weight and has meaning and has like goals and all sorts without that being at the forefront of it because I'm not an edgelord and I don't think I'm fucking hilarious.
Agreed, Ghostboi. Not unpopular to me, baby.
Not unpopular to me.
I completely agree with you.
But I can guarantee there's some morons out there that think it is very unpopular.
I know.
And do you want to know what?
Get fucked.
Fuck them.
Yeah. So this next one, this has been sent in by Anonymous and he goes by he, they.
Anonymous, he, they.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Very much.
Here's a take. If you're joining a TTRPG and the group decides on a specific time to meet every week or whatever increment of time, then you should endeavor to keep that time slot closed to all other obligations. Obviously, there are exceptions, weddings, funerals, other huge events, etc. And if you can't make them due to mental or physical health reasons, that's also acceptable. But not being able to show up because your sister asked you to come over for dinner or because you decided to go roller skating instead is ludicrous. I understand that some people have difficulty turning other people down due to social anxiety, but you already have a built-in excuse. You are already doing something. You already have plans. I've been part of a game for the last decade that meets at the same time every week, and there's only 4 of us. You would think that this would mean it would be easy to keep schedule, but over the last 2 years, the other players have been cancelling more and more. I've only had to cancel a game 3 times in the last 3 years, and I've left events early or straight up not gone to friends/family gatherings because I have a game on my schedule. And yet, we've only played twice since May this year. Why is it becoming increasingly hard for other people to just not double book themselves? I do not understand.
Not unpopular.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think that the problem here is your friends have just lost interest.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry, Anonymous.
That's completely different.
This is obviously coming from a place of frustration, and I can feel that, and I would be frustrated too.
To just close off that, like, there's a difference between wanting to do something else and just losing interest.
Yo, totally.
So
yes,
I
totally.
think sadly your friends have just lost interest.
Yeah.
But on topic of that, like funerals, weddings. Like, you broke your leg, you're in hospital.
I feel like that goes without saying.
Like, that shit is, like, more than excusable.
Yeah, taking a mental health day, needing a break, that goes without saying, too.
Margaret's taken some.
Yeah.
I've been, like, maybe not mental health, but just, like, stress-induced fucking, like, I need a break.
Yeah.
I've had to do that this campaign.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine, but it's true. When you are literally going, I'm not going to D&D tonight, I'm going out for food with my friends, it's like...
I agree.
What do you mean?
Like, something is like menial is just being like, yeah, I'm just going to go to the park or
roller
something
skating.
like that. Yeah, like, I completely agree, especially if it's last minute. To be honest, I can see circumstances in which that's fine, you know, a week ahead or something like that.
Still don't think it is.
You know what, yeah. Although,
the thing is, everybody else has blocked out that time.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing.
The thing is, you've got to understand. It's not just D&D.
Yeah.
It's 4, 5, 6. How many other people have blocked that out?
Yeah.
They're excited. They've moved things out of their schedule to make that time.
They're probably busy, probably have jobs.
They've committed to that time to play with you, so you commit that time to play with them, or you just don't play.
Or you just don't do it. I completely agree.
This fucking pisses
I know,
me off.
it pisses me off as well. And again...
I'm pissed off.
Anonymous, the fact that you kind of outlined all the stuff about like the wedding funerals, like breaks and stuff, like I completely agree. I agree. I think, you know, the only time we have to reschedule is if we need those times, or if we like there's a gig or something.
Yeah, or there's a gig, or you know, like Matthew's in Canada.
Yeah. Like,
I'm not gonna be like, Matthew, no, you can't go to Canada.
Like, we would never book to just go out for food on a Wednesday evening. Like, we would never do that, and none of our friends would ever do that either. Like, there's some times where someone's like, oh my God, it's my friend's birthday, I didn't realize, I'm sorry. I feel like that's completely acceptable.
Yeah, but the thing is, for us, because we're all so close and we're not like strangers. We're all kind of, there's a couple of people who are less flexible, but me and Margaret are super flexible. Matthew's super flexible. Mm-hmm. Josh is only not flexible because he works on a night.
Yeah.
And Abby's less flexible because her job works on a night as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, as long as we can fit it in Josh and Abby's schedule, we'll probably just play a different day.
Yeah, totally.
So like, but this is the thing. Usually it's like a week or 2 in advance.
Yeah.
But like, you don't go fucking roller skating.
I know.
Sorry, I can't come. I'm going out for lunch with my mom. It's like, no, you're not.
No, man, come on.
No, you're not.
I know.
You're playing D&D because everybody else is blocked out that time.
Yeah, I know. I think that is, and I hate it when people are like, oh, I forgot. It's like, no, you didn't though, did
How?
you? You haven't forgotten, especially in Anonymous's case, we've been playing for 3 years. Like,
how did you forget?
There's no way. There's absolutely no way.
We do it at the same time every week. How did you forget?
I know. There's not a chance that you forgot. Like,
you're just a liar.
Yeah,
that's what you are.
You're just a liar.
You're just a liar.
It's like, just say, if you don't want to do something, just say. No one's going to judge you.
No, everyone will probably be happier because they can play and you're stopping them playing.
Agreed. Man, no, not unpopular.
Stinky.
Not unpopular.
The opinion's not stinky.
No,
the opinion's very
restful,
much right,
restful.
but people like that. Oh,
yeah. Restful. We need to stop hitting this iPad.
We'll do this.
You can't see mine.
Oh.
I'll do here. Unrestful.
You do it there.
No, restful. What did I say?
I'll take this from
you. So this is number 3, and this has been sent in by Lief, and they go by they them.
Lief.
Thank you, Lief.
Oh, the Viking Lief.
I think this is Lief a Viking.
Leaf a
I
Viking.
could be wrong, and if I am, I'm terribly sorry to
if
both
it is or
of
it
you.
isn't, thank you for your
But
submission.
it's Lief. So, to preface, I'm fully expecting this opinion to get me killed.
Oh my god, do you want to know what? I was in a watch party and I'm pretty sure Lief went,
You don't want to hear my opinions
I've got
yet.
an unpopular opinion, but
And
you
we were
don't
like,
want to
we
hear
do.
it. And I was like, no, I do.
Battle maps lessen the experience of D&D in my eyes. Personally, and it might be due to my autism making me enjoy it more, but I find so much joy in imagining the battlefield as it's being described. And I, in turn, like describing my scenes and such as detailed and unique rather than putting a map there and giving a vague description of some other changes. This is mainly in regards to Roll20, and to specify, I don't think this applies to dungeons as those can get very confusing without a map. What do we think?
Okay. So, God. The thing is, this is a complete contradiction to another autism thing that we had recently.
What was that?
So, the other person put in the rule of cool, which is very imagination, like let's do what sort of fucking works, isn't autism friendly. And then Lief comes in and says, I like to just use my imagination for the battle map.
Yeah, but like,
so I guess I get like, look, I'm not on the spectrum, I'm not autistic, and I don't know how it works. So it's like, I guess it's literally just what works for you.
Oh, it's all completely like, it's a spectrum, and people are at different points on the spectrum. Like, you can't say one thing will work for someone
because that's the same autism or not.
Yeah.
Like,
one
one thing doesn't suit everyone.
Yeah, like I feel like I actually feel like the autism thing it's not that it's not relevant. Of course it is. Especially in terms of that comparison you just made there. But as per each individual human being, Now,
if we take the autism out of this, and we just say what?
Well, I just enjoy it more. I just enjoy imagining it more.
I think that is an unpopular opinion.
Lief, I think
really
that is
sorry.
also an unpopular opinion.
I think that's an unpopular opinion.
Listen, I don't think it's going to get you killed. I don't think it's going to get you killed. Everyone, leave Lief alone.
I think we've actually had another submission, or we've picked an unpopular opinion from the Reddit before, where it's just like, theatre of the mind is the best way to play.
Yes, yeah.
And I think theatre of the mind is amazing until it comes to fights.
Yes, I agree. See, I need a visual representation. Like, but to be fair, like, Lief, you've just said there, like, personally and in my own opinion, like, that's all it is.
No,
right?
Lief, you can't have your own opinion. You can't
Rancid.
Because I've run a couple, like, if I do like really short, sort of like fast-paced quick combats that I know aren't supposed to last a long time, I will just do theatre of mind. And there's a couple of people around my table that thrive, and they're like, so I'm sort of like this, that's fine, I'll just shoot this off. But then there's other people sort of who are like Matthew, who's like, so sorry, what's going on? He's like, and he picks up the dice, and he's like,
we
I'm
physically
here,
make a
I'm
map.
there, and I'm here, and like, what it's all like, and I'm like, I have to, even when I theatre of mind, for some people at my table, I'd have to like put things down for them.
I'm the same. I have to have a visual representation. Like, that's just how my mind works. And I do like the ones where it is theatre of the mind, especially if they're short, but I could never do an actual like proper big combat without it.
Like,
and to be honest, I feel like I've never actually played on Roll20 before, Lief, so I can't speak to like what the maps look like on Roll20.
Oh no, we have. That was what one of our friends used.
Is it?
Yeah.
We didn't use it in the traditional Roll20 sense, though, did we?
No, we didn't use it like online.
We used it on his screen, though, didn't we? Yeah, big up Wabs.
But I think so. For me, the problem is with doing just theater of the mind stuff is when you've got a game where even your walking speed is a number, even how much you can jump, how much you can lift is all a number.
Yeah.
Like your damage is a number, everything is a number. Your range, your weapon can only shoot a certain amount of feet. Like doing it theater of mind sort of to me takes away from the mechanics of the game.
Yeah. I agree. And, you know, if the opinion is battle maps lessen the experience of D&D in my eyes, I completely disagree. Like, I'm the other side of it. But I feel like you wrote this really respectfully, Lief.
Yeah,
so
but the thing is, it's like...
We're not sending people to kill you. We're just sending people to maybe, like, flick you.
Yeah. Flick Lief.
Flick them!
Everybody who's... If Lief's in the chat, flick him. Flick Lief. Flick Lief.
Yeah, no, I definitely think this is unpopular.
that is probably an unpopular opinion.
Yeah,
and I don't agree. But the thing is, I... now and then like to run them because they can be like nice and quick and we can just sort of like freeball it. And it does definitely include more role play.
Yeah, totally.
And
yeah.
There's a lot of people who would like that.
It allows more imagine, like when you're reading a book, you can picture it yourself. Yeah, I agree.
Unpopular, but I don't think you're on your own.
No,
I don't think you stand
agreed.
alone upon this island, Lief.
You know, maybe you have a couple friends there.
Just a couple of mates.
A couple of mates. Thank you, Lief. Thank you very much. So this next one, this has been sent in by Mr. Rime, and he goes by he, him. Thank you, Mr. Rime.
Thank you very much for your submission. I can't believe we've got so many unpopular opinion submissions.
I know. Again,
it's like the...
we never really get that many unpopular opinion submissions.
It's like the Horrible House Rules.
Nobody
wants
true.
us
No
to
one
sit
wants
and slag off of the
agreed. So yeah, thank you so much. And if you have an unpopular opinion, send it in. We'll definitely read it because we get so little.
Yeah.
So my hot take is that everyone should DM. I might have a bit of a bias, as when I started playing D&D, I knew nothing, but when I got the opportunity to DM, I jumped at the chance. But I think everyone should DM at least once to have empathy for what the DM goes through. For me personally, knowing what my DM goes through, I've definitely been much less of the "that's not how it works" guy, or the one who constantly questioned rulings. When I see the DM is focusing on a very specific point or a detail of an NPC, you better believe my character shows interest in it now. And as someone who is the type that recaps for my group, I've noticed the change. I think everyone should DM at least once for this reason. And if it's not for you, then it's not for you. But at least there might be a bit more of empathy for the DM. Also, a big fan of the podcast. Thank you guys for posting your thoughts and building this community. Thank you,
so
Mr.
much.
Rime.
Thank you, Mr. Rime.
Thank you.
What was Mr. Rime's pronouns?
He, him.
He, him. Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to let you take this because I think this is something that you feel quite strongly about.
This is something I feel strongly about. And I want to preface this. I don't think this is an unpopular opinion. I think this is actually a very common sentiment in the D&D community. And I completely disagree with it. But I can only completely disagree based on my own personal thoughts. In the same way, I feel like Mr. Rime is speaking from his own personal thoughts here too, right? Like, for me, I respected my DM anyway. I respected my DM's rulings. I didn't really question things too much. I never had an issue being involved in engaging. And I understand not everyone has that, right? I completely get that.
Yeah.
And so if we're using the argument of you need to have a bit more empathy for your DM, I already had that, but I realize not everyone will, right?
Yeah.
I wish I never DM'd because I wish I never had a look behind the curtain. All the things Mr. Rime is saying here, I wish I had never seen. I feel like for me, it peeled away the magic of it. It peeled away the mystique of it. It made me realize how much everything isn't necessarily a choice. Everything is on a predetermined path, but your DM is just really good at getting you there. And I wish I didn't. And I only DM'd because I felt like I had to, because of this exact sentiment that everyone should DM. And it was 6 weeks of my life that I didn't enjoy. And I'm a big person on not wasting my time and not doing things I want to do. I knew I never wanted to do it, but I felt pressured into doing it. And I didn't enjoy it. And it took a really big toll on my mental health doing it.
Yeah. And
I felt I had to do it to prove.
Yeah.
And I think I did it for a different reason as to what Mr. Rime is saying here, though.
Okay.
I didn't do it for the, understanding the DM side of things a bit more, which I appreciate the sentiment of. I did it because I felt like I had to prove I could.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, anything that you are doing just because you feel like you have to is never going to end well.
No.
And it didn't end well.
See, the flip side of this is we have a friend in Matthew.
Yes.
Who completely agrees with this
yes.
sentiment.
Oh, Mr. Rime, I think a lot of people agree with you.
This will divide opinion 50-50.
And I can only speak from my personal opinion. You know what I mean? I'm sat here going, well, I didn't struggle with empathy. I'm sure a lot of people do. I know a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And I know that there is a lot of DMs who feel like, as Mr. Rime described here, the people who sit there going, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And maybe not biting the fish hook and going for it.
Yeah.
So I actually think the sentiment behind what Mr. Rime is saying here is actually is a good one.
I think the sentiment is fantastic.
And I agree. I agree with it.
Like, there's sometimes maybe before I DM'd where if I could go back and play it all again, I would probably do it completely differently.
Yeah.
I'd probably take some bait
me
a little
too.
bit more.
Yeah, me
I
too.
would probably ask a few more questions about the thing that the DM explained very carefully in detail that I didn't pick up on. You know, like, I agree completely with the sentiment, and to be honest, I don't. After seeing what you went through, I can't sit here and agree that everyone does, because I don't think it did you any good.
It didn't. It put me in a really bad place mentally, and that's through no fault of anyone but my own, by the way.
Yeah.
But that's you'll know when you're the person in control and things don't go how you thought they were going to. It feels really bad,
and I think, sadly, that's a massive issue with beginner dungeon masters who it's so tough, because like you'll sit down and you'll plan a session and you'll be like, oh, and then they'll do this, oh, and then they'll do this, oh, and then they'll do this, and as soon as they don't do it, or as soon as they don't do it in the order, or don't interact with it exactly how you want, your feelings will get hurt.
And that's exactly what happened to me. Exactly. And the thing is, I knew that was going to be the situation, but I forced myself through it for nothing because I felt like I had to.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying at all, Mr. Rime, that is what you're saying here.
No.
I think the sentiment you have behind this is very pure and very nice, and I love that. But I don't think everyone is cut out to be a DM, and I don't think anyone should try and have to do something they don't want to.
Agreed. And just to hit back on it one more time, like, you need to find out. This is just a bit of advice. We're just veering off this just for a second. You need to find out if you're a dungeon master or a first-time dungeon master or anything, like, how your players are going to play. Like, run a one-shot with them first.
Yes, totally.
Chuck a bunch of bait out and see if they just nibble and gobble it up and run after every fucking plot hook you go down, then you can dungeon master like that. You can have a very rigid, like, this is where we go. And anyone who tells you can't is a fucking liar, because they don't play at your table and they don't understand. But if your players aren't like that and you try and run a very rigid game, like, you need to prepare yourself, because they might not, and then that will probably upset you or hurt your feelings. Yeah,
totally.
It's being able to slightly adapt to, like, each session. You guys can nibble up and gobble up bait for like 40 sessions, and then suddenly I'll put something out and then you'll just veer off.
Yeah, and just not even.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, of course.
But I understand that not everyone is.
And I wouldn't have been. And I wasn't, and that's why I stopped. But you know, there's the other side of this. There is the other side where people who are like, maybe I should. You, for example, you were like, I'm just going to try it. And you became the greatest of all time.
I'm not.
You know what I mean? You became.
I'm not goated.
He's goated. He's the MVP.
I am not.
You became. You're an amazing dungeon master, and you're a forever DM, and you love it.
I do. Yeah.
And there's two sides of this, like everything. So, yeah, I don't think this is unpopular, Mr. Rime. I really don't. I don't think this is unpopular. And my only advice is, don't force yourself to do something you don't want to. But if you have an inkling and you think you're going to enjoy it, might as well try it.
You can give it a go and just
should give it a go.
I would always tell everyone who's ever going to DM to start off doing something sharp.
Totally, yeah.
Because the last thing you want to do is be like, yeah, we're going to do this fucking epic year-long campaign, and you all better fucking write loads of backstories, and then you begin and you fucking hate it. Because that's like, it makes you feel like shit, and it'll probably make players feel a little bit like shit. Just always start by doing a fucking module, a dungeon crawl, anything that's just like 1 to 5 sessions to see if you enjoy planning, because planning's a lot, to see if you enjoy players going off course, what your players are like, everything. You need to do that first, in my opinion.
And you might not be as highly strung as I am.
Yeah.
I'm very highly strung. That's just who I am as a person, baby.
That was you, wasn't it? You planned rigidly.
I planned
and
too
as soon
much.
as we didn't Like, because I was more than happy to gobble it up, but there's other players who were just like, "Oh, can we do this? Can we do this?"
Yeah, totally.
And that made you fucking panic.
Yeah, it did. God, it really did. And I truly believe now, after having done it, if I went back and did it, I would be so much chiller.
Yeah.
But I'm just never going to go back to it. So, thank you, by the way, for letting me talk for so long and uninterrupted there. That was very polite of you.
What do you mean?
Well, just thank you for letting me talk. I feel like I spoke for ages there.
I don't think so.
I feel like I did. Thank you for letting me just get it off my chest.
Don't worry about it.
I feel like a lot of people would have tried to talk over me there, and you didn't. So thank you.
Oh, it's okay. But I know that you feel very strongly about this.
Yeah, I do.
And this has directly affected you. I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, but don't worry about it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rime.
Thanks, Mr. Rime.
And thank you for being here.
Thank you for
much
being
appreciated.
here. We appreciate it.
So this next one, this has been sent in by Percy Punksworth. And they go by they, them.
Yeah.
Thank you, Percy.
Percy Punksworth.
Hello, dear patrons. Margaret is going to hate me for this.
I only let small races play. That's what I was going to say.
But I must be true to myself. With the exceptions of looks and feel, elves and dwarves are exactly the same to me. They are both portrayed as close-knit, hierarchical communities with history that is apparently the most important thing ever, but always too long to explain to whoever asks. They are both portrayed as standoffs in media and utterly insufferable to deal with. If I don't know your dumb tree law about this specific rose and the love story behind it, I get the same amount of disrespect for not knowing the dirt pit of the clan Dunderfuck of Who the Fuck Cares Mountain. The most annoying part is all the people who try, jokingly or not, to say one is better than the other based on some stuff from Lord of the Rings. I will never play an elf or a dwarf, just out of principle now, because I've had this argument so many times my mouth tastes like the inside of a debate team study room. Oof. And then tieflings are the best anyway.
True.
Oh, Percy, why do you gotta do me like this?
Do you want to know what? Sadly, I think the thing I'm gonna say something that's gonna say even more. I think elves are actually even worse for it. And I think you would probably agree. No. I think elves are even worse for it.
I think you might be right.
I think you might be right.
I feel like Percy's telling the truth and I don't like that.
You can't take it. I can't take it. It's true though, isn't it?
Yeah, listen.
It do be true.
Listen, you know what? I read it and I was like...
Can't even argue it.
No, I can't.
Can't even argue it.
You're right.
The thing is, you don't have to play it like that.
No, of course not. Of course.
The stereotype.
Yes, yeah. The trope of them is...
The common fantasy trope is completely that.
I agree. And you know what? I think I kind of would agree. Maybe elves are a little bit...
I think they're even worse.
Yeah, I think maybe they are because there is...
Stuck up, definitely.
Oh, yeah. And there is a lot of lore to elves because obviously they've been around for centuries and centuries and centuries.
They live for so long.
It's always going to be like that. And anything that lives so long, I mean, dwarves do too, but anything that lives so long is going to be more closed off and more...
Secular.
Yeah. So, you're right. Do I think... I'm... Quick! Pestilent! Everyone, quick! Hit Percy with a pestilent, please, for me!
I don't think there is a ranking for this, but I do think this is... I think this is actually unpopular.
Yeah,
I think people would be very fierce to defend.
Do you know what? I think you're right. I think people would be fierce to defend each on each side.
Elves.
I think people would be really fierce to defend dwarves, genuinely. Who the fuck likes dwarves anyway?
But I think the thing is, I think this is unpopular because everyone would be like, "No, shut up! My elf's not like that. Just shut up, fucking Percy. My elf's not like that." But elves commonly are portrayed like this.
And Percy actually specifically says Lord of the Rings. Like
that has a huge thing to do with every bit of lore.
It does, and. Don't tarnish Legolas like that. How about that?
Don't you talk
Percy
about my Legolas
Punksworth?
like that?
Huh? How about that? Get your hands off. And
how about you push off, Percy?
Yeah. How about that?
How about you push off?
That's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah. Listen. Entity kill them.
What did they say about the mountain of fuck knows?
Oh yeah, I get the same amount of disrespect for knowing the dirt pit clan of Dunderfuck of Who the Fuck Cares Mountain.
Love that. Love that so much.
Oh, thank you, Percy.
Oh, love that. Thank you, Percy. That was a great submission.
So, all of the rest of these have been taken from the Reddit.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. This is where the video takes a turn,
If
right?
I racially abuse you and you're upset, that's your fault.
Smell.
So, this one. DMs, when making a puzzle or world lore, never have something only have one way to do something. I feel like it doesn't allow any room for player creativity.
I agree.
Yeah, me too. I agree. I think this is very restful. Yeah. Me too. I agree.
As we've explained before,
Yeah.
I put puzzles in. I don't really put that many in because my players aren't great at them.
We're not good at puzzles.
They aren't great at
We're
puzzles.
not good at puzzles. And we know this.
But I put them in and I really just let them say things. I have a way to figure it out.
Yeah.
I have like, this is how it's going to get, this is how it should be figured out. But if you say something cool enough, or you say something smart enough, or you've used enough resources,
Yeah.
and it sounds like it could work, I'm like, it works. Because that makes you feel good.
It does. I think, again, I feel like puzzles are all about making your players feel good. But
Yeah.
I actually think people see puzzles as a way to challenge and frustrate and punish your players. And it shouldn't be like
Should
that.
never be that.
Puzzles should be in there for, a bit of a challenge, something that's different from a combat,
What are puzzles meant to be?
something to overcome.
They are meant to be solved.
Yeah, they're meant to be solved.
Like,
So let them be solved.
if you sit there and your party's struggling and getting frustrated and you're like, haha, I've outsmarted you, nobody feels good apart from you. And that's not good.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And it feels really
Like,
bad.
That whole I've got a bigger brain than you is
Lame.
Is just
So lame.
such a toxic DM mentality.
Lame and boring, honestly.
Such a toxic toxic mentality.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
completely agree.
horrendous.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think there have multiple ways. And again, the problem is, I understand some people, you have to have a one-track way of thinking about it, and you have to have... It's like the problem I had with DMing, being like, oh, if it doesn't go this way, then what do I do? And the problem when you set yourself only one way, like to the letter way to solve it, is you're going to get frustrated too when your players aren't getting it. And then
they aren't getting to the rest of the stuff you plan.
Yeah, and there's a fine line between giving them a hint and just having to give it to them entirely.
Yeah.
Or letting them remain frustrated.
Yeah.
So that's all I'll say. I think very, very restful. I agree with that.
I think this is a very restful opinion.
Agreed.
And I think this will again divide the community. I think there is a few people out there who love that sort of, I'm smarter
agree.
than you.
I agree. And I think there is some DMs as well who are like, well, no, they have to do this because what's the point in not? What's the point in just letting them have things? And to that I say, do you not like fun?
No.
Huh?
No.
Do you not like fun?
Do you know these people?
That's what I have to say to that.
They hate fun.
Huh?
They're the only one who's allowed to have fun.
Yeah, no, obviously.
Oh man, we got tagged in this TikTok the other day, and they made the TikTok, and I think they like tagged us in it, and it was this DM, and they like closed the book, and they were like. And they were like, oh man, I fucking shat on you guys. Yeah, I'm so much better than you. And it went around all the players, and they were like, yeah, I loved it where you absolutely destroyed us in that combat where we didn't have a chance. And oh yeah, I loved it when you silvery barbs every single one of my natural 20s. And it just goes around each player, and it was just hilarious because there are so many DMs out there.
So many.
But do you want to know what the problem is? There's so many players out there.
I agree. There's so many people out there.
You're just toxic, man.
Yeah,
you need to just,
come on.
You need
have
to,
some fun.
Yeah, you have some fun and just chill out and just realize that not everything's a fucking competition.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, I when it comes to like games and stuff like that, I'm quite a competitive person. When it comes to D&D, I couldn't be less competitive.
Same. I'm not competitive
And,
at all. Like in anything.
It's such a better environment for everyone around the table.
Agreed.
If there isn't anyone trying to win.
Totally. I couldn't agree more. Like, especially in D&D.
Especially
in
Dungeon
D&D.
Master.
Totally. So this next one, to be honest, this one actually is kind of a continuation on that one. It's sent in by a different person, but on the same topic.
Same topic, yeah?
And we may have touched on some of these points. I'll read it out. Okay. So, if you're the DM and puzzles or travel are taking way too long, that's your fault, not the players. Sure, maybe your players are no good at puzzles, so adapt and make it easier. Sure, maybe your players are shit at taking a hint or love taking detours. They don't need to know that the detour leads you to what you had planned as the main quest for the day. The only thing that can be solely a player's fault is if they're fiddling on their phone or not paying attention to what's going on, resulting in them taking far too long to make a decision, usually in combat, or if they're making problematic decisions in a game that ruin the fun for all the other players as well. But when I see things like, ugh, my player spent 50 minutes trying to open a door, my only thought is, well, that's on you. By the way, I'm a habitual DM, so I'm not speaking without knowing what it's like for the shoe to be on the other foot, lol.
So, like, I agree with this. I totally agree with this, but it's like, it's your fault. It's like sometimes some dungeon masters don't have the tools or don't have the knowledge or the prior experience to understand what they're doing wrong and why it's not happening.
Agreed. Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes there doesn't have to be a blame game.
Like, this is it. Like, so much... We do be on the internet, and everyone does try and be the right opinion, and everyone does try and play the master.
This is sponsored by The Right Opinion.
Sponsored by The Right Opinion. What a fantastic YouTube channel. You put in so much effort into your content,
We love
and it's
The Right
amazing.
Opinion so much. Thank you.
But seriously, like, not everything has to be someone's fault.
No, I completely agree. Like, I totally.
Sometimes it is someone's fault.
Yes, and I understand exactly what OP is saying here by being like, when I see people being like, oh, my players took so long to do this. The finger's already being pointed.
Yeah.
What's the saying? Say it. Go on.
When you point one
point
finger,
at him. Go on.
When you point at one finger,
Yep.
there's 3 pointing back at yourself. My manager, when I used to sell cars, oh my god, that was his motto. Every single time anything went wrong, he's like, look, when we point fingers, it's 3 pointing back.
Go on,
at
show
ourselves.
him.
See that? Oh, 1, 2, 3. I used to do it like this. He used to be like, look, see, these 3, they're pointing back at you. So, you know, you're partly to blame.
But they, legit, genuinely, yeah. Like, I agree. I don't think it has to be like someone's fault or why are you looking at me like that?
I was honestly thinking about that manager now. And just like, he was actually a nice guy. But my goodness gracious me, was he an idiot.
But yeah, no, I think this kind of follows on from what we were just saying, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, be adaptable.
Yes.
Make the detour lead into the main thing.
Yes.
Like, if you see your players are struggling with something like trying to open a door for 50 minutes, like, just help them out. Just help them out. And that's easy for me to say.
Yes.
To be fair, that's easy for me to say without having the experience of it. I don't know if I would know exactly how to do it either.
This is the thing. Like, how can you do something if you don't know how to do it?
Totally. How do you do it if you don't have the experience of doing it? I agree.
And like, if the first time it happens, you maybe just need to realize, I need to help them here.
Yeah.
And just figure it out how to help them in that moment.
Yeah.
And then that'll give you the tools for the next time to be like, okay, I noticed a little bit earlier that they are going off course or they're not figuring it out.
Well, this is what happened with you. You put in a riddle.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't get it.
I basically just had to give them the riddle. And this is the thing. Now I'll just not give them
you'll just not do it. Now
you
just know not to do it. Yeah. So, but no, I think I agree with both of those.
I agree with the opinion, but
my iPad's died. No, it hasn't.
How?
I lied.
It was on 90%.
I lied. It's on.
I agree with the opinion, but we don't always need to blame someone.
Yeah, agreed. It's not always a blame game.
What do you think, internet? Or am I an idiot?
You're wrong!
You're wrong! It's your fault! Well, you got 3 fingers pointing back at yourself, baby. Look.
Yeah. All right, this next one is also from the Reddit, and this is, playing a rogue is overrated. Obviously, not all rogues are played like this, but I'm basing this off the stereotypes about rogues. Having a character with a tragic backstory and becoming an edgelord seemed cool until more people started doing it. Not to mention, they're generally confined with a neutral alignment. Very rarely will you hear about a lawful good rogue. I could go on, but I'll stop here and see what you all think. I know a lawful good rogue.
Yeah, so do I.
It's Himeta. He's a lawful good rogue, and he's great.
He's a lawful good
rogue. He's a
rogue.
great guy.
He isn't really a rogue. His whole point is he's a scout.
Yeah, agreed.
But he's the scout rogue.
Yeah, agreed.
He doesn't steal anything.
Yeah.
He doesn't,
apart from the one time he did, and then...
And that went very badly.
That went very badly.
He nearly got killed by Fenrir on his own.
Yeah.
But, he didn't steal it.
No, yeah. He's a lawful good rogue.
He's a lawful good rogue.
I feel like that's the perfect example of not all rogues have to be played like. And
this is the thing. Like, do you really care about the rogue, or do you just
care about
the
edgelord
people? Edgelord,
yeah.
because the edgelord is so memed upon now.
And the thing is, though, right? Like, OP says here, being an edgelord was cool until more people started doing it. I don't want to say this sounds a little bit gatekeepery.
It sounds a little
bit gatekeepery, being like, edgelords were cool until everyone started doing it.
D&D was cool until everyone started playing it.
Yeah,
it's like why does something as soon as something becomes popular, it become not cool? Like things can be popular and cool.
Come on, like I hate that mentality.
Same.
Like the hobby you love, getting new people in and people from different walks of life with different experiences is a good thing.
Yeah,
and we should all be rejoicing at that. Genuinely.
Now the lone wolf,
yes,
is only slightly different.
Yeah, and honestly, I do get the point OP is making.
I get the point.
Genuinely, I get the point OP is making.
It's definitely more about the lone wolf thing, and I get it because the lone wolf can be really fucking frustrating.
True.
If you don't know how to do it
completely, and if it takes too long to get around it. Again, speaking from experience, playing the lone wolf is really hard.
It's so hard.
And it stinks.
It's so hard because like you literally just exclude yourself from all of the fun.
Especially when you do it wrong, like how I was doing it.
You do things selfishly.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about a million times, the whole point of the lone wolf archetype is when you overcome it, it feels amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
When you let the party in, it feels amazing.
Yeah.
So when you deny yourself that and you're just the lone wolf, it feels stinky.
Feels real stinky.
So
and like the whole thing of like they're generally confined to a neutral alignment. I don't think they are. Like
they're not.
I don't think they are.
That's just the people that you've played with.
I think unfortunately OP has just been played with people who play. Yeah, but do I think that this is an unpopular opinion?
I don't.
I think this is actually a very popular opinion.
Opinion.
Agreed. I agree. I think a lot of people would completely agree with that.
Because a lot of people have had bad experiences with lone wolves.
Yeah, and so have we.
99% of them are rogues.
Yeah. True. I know. Or warlocks. It lends itself to it naturally.
Yes, naturally.
Yeah, I don't think that's unpopular.
Naturally.
Now, this next one is from the Reddit. If you want to counterspell, give the players more chances to use it. By increasing the number of use cases, it becomes less of a win button and more of a calculated risk, decreasing overall usage, thereby decreasing the effectiveness of counterspell.
So, counterspell. So you're just saying more people need to use counterspell so it can be counterspelled?
Yeah.
Okay.
I you know what? I don't think I really actually understand the wording of this. I put this in and now I don't fully understand it. So give the players more chances to use it.
Counterspell? Or countering a counterspell?
Countering a counterspell.
Okay.
So I think OP's saying cast more
counterspells, yeah, or cast more spells.
Cast more spells,
well,
so they counterspell, and then you can counterspell the counterspell.
Well, that's what I did.
Yeah, I know it is.
In a combat that we haven't spoke about yet.
Yeah.
Somebody tried to counterspell my thing, and I counterspelled them back.
Yep.
Because you can do that, and nobody else had counterspell. The problem is when the two of like, let's just say it's a one-person combat. Two of your people at the table have counterspell.
Then that's
spell. Someone counterspells you. You counterspell that. They counterspell your counterspell.
Yeah, and it's a whole thing. I don't really know why I put this in. I don't think this. What is this even saying?
Counterspell. I don't know, but counterspell is a brilliant spell that should be used, in my opinion, massively sparingly.
Yeah. I totally agree.
I think I with that opinion probably disagree with this, because getting excited to use a spell and then using a spell in a moment and then having it counterspelled feels dreadful for a player.
True.
Like horrendous for a player. And I've only cast counterspell twice this entire campaign.
Yeah.
And it was anger border twice.
Mm-hmm.
One time wasn't even in a combat; it was in like a roleplay scenario.
Yeah.
And the second one was in a combat. So they knew she had counterspell.
And I remember one of the only times you counterspelled in your other campaign, it was when I needed to cure wounds someone, and I did it at like 5th level, and you counterspelled it.
Yeah.
And that was the most horrendous feeling ever.
It felt horrendous.
And
I would never, and I don't do it often.
But that's why it feels horrendous.
And that's because it has fucking far more weight.
Exactly. Like those moments, and the moment you use the counterspell, like they were moments that changed the combat. And I feel like if you're going out to want to counterspell, like, yeah, when you do something so many times, it takes away from it, right?
It just takes away from it. And
yeah.
Like that's a counterspell in itself is such a like divisive spell, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the thing is, I don't want my fucking players to turn up and cast the cool new spell and me just counterspell it every time, because that sucks. Mm-hmm. But when I do counterspell it in a big moment, everyone's like, oh.
Agreed. Yeah, totally agreed.
So I don't. If this means cast counterspell more times, then I disagree.
Yeah, what do you guys think? I don't really know where this opinion would fall on mass.
Like this all comes down to how many people have counterspell.
True.
Like,
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I'd like to know.
I'd like to know what everyone's opinion is on counterspell.
So tell me.
Because some people literally just fucking ban it.
Yeah.
I completely understand.
Me too.
Banning it. And some people just use it too much, which feels like shit.
Yeah, agreed. I completely agree. Let us know. What do you think?
The amount of counterspells in campaign 2 was there was a spell cast, a counterspell, a counterspell, a counterspell, and a counterspell.
Oh my god!
It was somebody cast a spell, Caleb counterspelled, somebody counterspelled him, Ford counterspelled that, and then somebody counterspelled
Oh
Ford.
my god!
So there was 4 counterspells.
Oh god! See, that's kind of funny though. I kind of like that.
But that only happened once.
Yeah. Okay, the next one. Also from the Reddit.
Also from the Reddit. You said all of it. You don't need to say it from
Oh
Reddit.
yeah, no, yeah.
You
These are all from the Reddit.
Everything
yeah.
after number 5 was from the Reddit.
Yeah. If you ever have a random encounter, I'm leaving the table. Waste of everyone's time. That's it.
Got loads of fun. Jesus fucking Christ!
Like-
Jesus, what? Why? What's wrong with a random encounter every now and then?
I don't, the fact that there is like no context to this.
If you have a random encounter,
I'm leaving the table. Like-
Good, thank God.
You know what? Like, I guess I don't want to put words in OP's mouth, but it's like,
Well, we're gonna have to because it didn't.
well, true,
didn't do a very good
true,
job.
OP. Yeah, let me use you as a puppet for a second. Like, if they're saying it out of being like they're pointless and they don't add anything to the story, like I could, I guess so. But at the same time, do you not like fun?
Like the thing is, right? I'm not a massive random encounter person.
No.
Like I will only have a combat if it means something.
Yeah.
Like literally. So like if like, but I do randomize them. Like if we are now in the ice plane, are we fighting 5 yetis?
Yeah.
Are we fighting a bunch of frost hounds? Are we fighting a young white dragon? Like I'll roll that.
Yes.
Because it's exciting because then I sort of don't know exactly how it's going to go and things like that. I love those sorts of random encounters.
Yeah.
I know the encounter is going to happen full stop, but it's random what they fight.
Yeah.
Random encounters are just in terms of like, oh, you're walking, I'll roll to see if there's an encounter. I fucking hate it. I fucking despise it. And I know there's loads of people out there who love it, but to me, if you're having a combat, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
It's to show off the new wildlife in the area. It's because you're in a dungeon. It's because it's a boss fight. It's
you need
because,
to get some
like,
resources down.
Yeah, like there's you have to have a reason to have a combat, in my opinion.
Yeah. Fair
But
enough.
I understand if you like random encounters and that's the way you want to run it, and that's fine as well. But we just play D&D differently.
Yeah.
And that's the fucking beauty of D&D. But just saying something like that with absolutely no context.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Well,
just,
like,
it's tough, innit?
have you
Because-
just said that to ruffle some feathers?
Yeah.
I feel like you've rustled some jimmies with that, and I actually think that's unpopular. I think a lot of people would disagree.
Yeah. Like, and the thing is, I think I'm in the minority here because I don't like random encounters.
See, for me as a player, I think it's different, right? Because as a player, like, I haven't had to put any work into the random encounter. Like, it's normally for me, random encounters are something. Most of the time, in my opinion, you can probably just steamroll and feel really good about it. Like, you're right. Like,
sometimes the random encounters can be like really hard.
Yeah,
if they roll the wrong numbers.
if they roll the
Yeah.
See, I don't really mind random encounters. I could take or leave them. I'm not bothered.
As a dungeon, like as a player, love it. I love having combats. Combats are great fun.
Yeah.
Fucking live for it. As a dungeon master, I dungeon master for a different reason.
Yeah.
I want to tell a story. And
I understand as well that they say waste of everyone's time. If you're in like a really roleplay heavy game,
yeah,
it could probably feel like it is a waste of time.
Yeah,
like you don't want to do that.
And you've obviously just been in a game where there was too many random encounters and you hate them now. And like, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
So this next one,
was it popular or unpopular?
Oh my god, I think it's unpopular. I think that's.
Oh,
Kay, look away! Oh my god, clap us out! Oh,
I said the only thing that would have been funnier is if it came back and hit her in the face.
No one saw that. No one saw that, right? No one saw that. Yeah.
I think unpopular. I think
I need to put some glue in these.
Unpopular.
I think
unpopular.
unpopular.
I think that's an unpopular opinion. I think a lot of people really like random encounters.
Agreed. What do you think? What do you think? DMs, players, what do you think?
Yeah.
Random encounters, what's your opinion?
Do you like random encounters or don't you like random encounters?
Yeah. What do you think?
What do you think?
All right, this next one. It is play your character. Your character ended up with a great initiative score. Announce your action immediately. Don't join the initiative strategy huddle. If it's the wrong move, then so be it. I despise metagaming.
Okay. Okay.
I once again feel like this is something without context at all.
So is it just saying like, don't turn and be like, what are we doing? It's
yeah, like you get initiative, go straight in and say exactly what you do.
If you've got first initiative, I agree. Like, and I've done it before. I remember I was playing with a table of randoms, and it was like our last fight of the game, and I like ran up to hold a choke point. And I was kind of low, and they were like, "No, don't do that. You're low." And I was like, "I know, but like, I'm first in the initiative, and if I get in there, I'll definitely waste some." And it's like they were telling me what to do, and then I started strategizing, and it took away like the heroic moment of me sort of like shield walling the choke point.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like, if you're the first in initiative, I think you should. But I also like playing as a team.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like I agree with this, but only like half.
To an extent.
Yeah, because you know, in the last session we did, the last combat, there was something that transpired, and we had to stop and be like, "What are we doing about this?
Yeah, what are we gonna do?
We
need to think about.
Are we going to deal with this? Are we going to ignore this? And you know, like we had to have that discussion. I realize that is actually different to the scenario that Oki's talking about here.
This is just first moment in combat.
Yeah.
So
I feel like don't join the initiative strategy huddle. I feel like there is again a fine line between all of these things, right? There's a fine line between being a group and talking things through, and you know, wanting to try and succeed, or getting analysis paralysis.
Yeah, that's
you know
the
what
issue.
I mean?
It's like, okay, you first up, what do you do? And you just turn and be like, what are we doing then? It's like,
I know.
It does take the sting out of combat a little bit.
I agree.
So I think I don't mind some talking.
Yeah.
But like,
I think some talking is imperative sometimes.
But but then there's some people who are like, this is what my character would do.
True.
In a good way.
Yeah.
In the nasty,
True. I like to think like me sometimes. I'm just like, yeah, Rayla would just go and do this.
Yeah, she goes and does this.
She just goes and does it.
And it's like, okay, like that may not have been the most optimal decision, but at the same time, like it is battle, it is fast, and I like that. And when we just fucking talk.
Yeah, I agreed. There's been so many times where Josh as well, as Igneous, was like, trust me, I've got this.
Yeah.
Or he goes, I'm going to try something. There is nothing that excites me more at the table than someone in combat going, I'm going to try something.
New.
And then just hearing something fucking totally wild come out of their mouth. Yeah. And if they had said, should I try X, Y, and Z, there probably would have been counterpoints to that, and it would have taken the steam out of it.
It just takes fucking forever.
Yeah, agreed. I agree.
The thing is with Dungeons and Dragons is, again, we play a game that is based upon this.
Yeah. Oh, tell him.
That's a 15.
Wow.
Like, no one knows if that's a success or a failure before you, like, you can make all of the plans in the world, but as soon as you roll the dice,
and
chance comes into it. So just do what you want to do.
I agree with that. If it's the wrong move, then so be it.
So be it.
I actually really agree with that sentiment, to be honest.
I agree 100%.
I think if you're sat there worrying about the outcome of every single thing you could possibly do, you're never going to make a decision.
You're never going to make a decision. Or take a chance.
To me, personally, and I realize that this is such a personal thing, part of the fun of D&D is the unpredictability of all of it.
Agreed.
Doing things, there potentially being repercussions. For example, that fight when we were up the bell tower, and this nasty stinking bat was there, and Rayla was just like, I can't let it get to my friends, because if it gets to the bell, everyone's fucked. She just jumped on it.
Just jumped on it and grabbed it and pulled it down.
I didn't confer. I said, I'm going to try something stupid.
And it worked.
And it worked.
Awesome.
And there could have been really bad repercussions to that. I could have got, I think I did go down. And
you ended up going down, but it ended up being a really great decision.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I was willing to take that risk. And thankfully, the rest of the table were happy for me to take that risk too. Yeah, I think, I feel like the way this is worded is kind of passive-aggressive.
It's almost too far the other way.
Yeah, agree.
I am fine with a little bit of a mix, but at the same time, if you want to do something, just do something.
Totally. And, you know, I despise metagaming.
And I think this is probably unpopular. I don't know. I think this is probably...
I don't know,
this is probably,
you know?
Again, this is a 50-50.
Yeah.
I've played at tables that are really strategic. And I've played at games that aren't strategic at all.
Yeah, totally. I don't know.
I've enjoyed both. So
Me too.
As a dungeon master, I definitely prefer like my players just doing what they think their character would do in that moment.
Totally.
Other than like doing something they would never do, but because it's most optimal.
And calling a timeout and having to talk about it. Yeah, I agree. There's two ends of this. What do you think?
I'm going to call it popular.
I don't know. I do not know where to call this.
I'm going to call it popular.
I'll call it unpopular then. Yeah,
Go on, then.
There we go. Unpopular.
Smacketh the hammer
yeah,
and decree.
Unpopular. What do you think? I'd like to know.
What do you think? Is it popular
I'd like to know
or
when people
unpopular?
fall on this. So these are the last two. We are on the penultimate, just to get everyone prepared. We're on the penultimate.
Knuckle
We're coming up to the last. So this one is lawful good characters are boring as fuck. They are the actual definition of stopping any fun in its tracks. Want to try and charm a shopkeeper for a better price on an item? Prepare for a grilling. Want to threaten someone to get answers? What's that? Another grilling? Having someone always say no to any decision you have to make feels like I'm playing a game with a babysitter. Take the stick out of your ass and do something fun once in a while. It's a game. In my opinion, lawful good characters are just as annoying as a murder hobo.
Ooh, Sabine. See.
I feel like this is so fucking spicy.
Dear God, look, you all know the meme on this channel.
Oh.
You know that we hate lawful good paladins on this channel. Like this, it's so fucking annoying though because look, I've just played a campaign with a lawful good character in Humeta.
Exactly.
Matthew's rogue.
Exactly.
A rogue, lawful
I
good.
know.
And like he wasn't a fun sponge.
He wasn't annoying about it.
He wasn't annoying about it. And it's like he would let other people do what they wanted to do.
Exactly.
And like if they wanted to charm people, if they wanted to like steal something or something like that, that's fine. And like he can still just have his moral compass and his moral code and not shit on everyone's
And he can still have the things to him that matter that are lawful good.
Yeah.
Like I will admit we have played with characters before that have been lawful good that have
been annoying.
Yes, that have been annoying.
It's the thing is though, like I think Matthew is a minority is the problem.
I agree. I think a lot, and you know what? I feel this. I feel OP so hard with this. Like this ties back into the whole like if your character wants to do something, do it.
Let him do it.
And it's like where does the grilling come from? Does the grilling come from
the player or the character?
Or does it come from the character?
Because I can guarantee it's really the player.
Yeah. Or
and like what the fuck is the point in a spell like charm person playing a warlock who's a little bit naughty or playing somebody who's a little bit naughty if you can't fucking charm a shopkeeper?
Yeah, I know.
Like charming a shopkeeper doesn't mean you are a fucking nuisance to society.
No,
or a menace to
yeah.
society. You can still be a good person and do the right thing and charm someone.
And just, I completely agree.
Have a little bit of fun. Like D&D's it's a game. It's true. It is a game. You do need to stick out your fucking ass. Like if somebody, you do. You fucking do.
No,
it's true.
Fair enough.
Like if you're just out there trying to shit on everyone's fun, you need to think about why you're playing D&D.
That's it. And it's the sentiment of like, I feel like I'm playing with a babysitter.
100%.
Yeah, I can imagine that it does suck being like, ooh, I'm going to try this thing. But there's also the other side of it where like people like, I don't know, stealing or whatever is annoying.
Stealing is annoying.
It's annoying, but like OP isn't talking about that.
Is it though? Because you can tastefully steal. You can see the fucking horrible rich guy in town and go to his house and steal some of his wealth and dish it out. You can Robin Hood that shit, and that's fun. But it's like if you're Robin Hooding and taking from the rich and giving to the poor, and your lawful good paladin's like,
I know
you're a terrible person because you steal. It's like you're a fucking asshole.
I know, and like it's the want to try and threaten someone. My God, if Humeta was the lawful good rogue and had a problem with Rayla threatening people every single time she... Wow.
Rayla threatened everyone.
Rayla threatened...
Your character...
Everyone.
...threatens loads of people. And
everyone.
It doesn't always have to be to give them something.
No.
It might be information.
Yeah.
It
was always information.
To try and just get the upper hand in this social situation to see what the true intentions are. Yeah. Like you can threaten somebody awesomely in roleplay for like the benefit of the group.
And it wasn't like, I'm going to punch your head in. It was just like... Tell us the truth because you don't want to fuck with us.
Yeah. Like
it benefits you to tell us.
This is it. This is it. Like lawful good is what Matthew did in our campaign.
Yeah.
And it was very good and very tasteful.
Agreed.
And it stepped on nobody's toes.
Agreed.
But then there is something actually that isn't lawful good. It's lawful stupid, as we've talked about many times.
Yeah.
Where it's just fucking idiots.
Yeah, and I wonder if maybe we're biased because we have Matthew and we've seen that it can be done in a way that's not annoying for people.
Yeah, but like being lawful good can be done without shitting on everyone's
True.
fun.
And what do you think? Lawful good characters are just as annoying as a murder hobo.
I think 99% of the time, yeah, that's right.
I think so too.
But the thing is, I don't think that is true if played right.
Yeah,
The problem is they're not played right very often.
They're played very much stick up the ass.
It's like the lone wolf.
And it's like, oh God, I couldn't imagine being the boring person who's always like, no, we're not doing that.
Like, like everyone gets to play D&D how they want to play D&D.
Yeah.
If you made a warlock who wants to fucking charm people and get like lie their way to their goals and stuff like that, then let them. It's not your character. It's not your game. You don't dictate everything that happens.
And I think a really good way to stick to something like that is just not participating. Perfect example. Priestess had Speak to Dead, and we had to, we fucked up in a combat and we had to speak to the person afterwards. Her meta was like, I'm having no part of this.
Like
I'm standing outside. Call me when you're done. He didn't say, no, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, he said, this just goes against my moral code.
I don't want to.
I don't want to be privy to it. He was like, ask these questions.
Yep.
I just don't want to see it with my eyes. So he just walked outside and Priestess did it. That, there you go.
That's a perfect way. If he had been like, no, my God, what are you doing, you witch?
The dead stayed dead. Yeah. Shame.
Witch, shame.
He tried to burn her at the stake. He tied bricks to her feet and tried to drown her in the river.
Exactly.
So annoying.
Exactly.
So yeah.
What do you think? What do we think?
I think this is a popular opinion.
I think this is a popular opinion as well, actually.
Because there's so many fucking lawful good assholes out there.
I agree. How many times do you hear about lawful good assholes?
It's like what fucking fuels this channel.
Yeah, I agree. I think. What do you? Again, I don't know. I would like to know what you think.
I think they'll agree.
What do you think?
I think you'll agree.
Do you know who is going to agree? Fucking Alexis. Alexis, who is like, I'm sick of people talking about lawful good paladins.
Yeah, it's like,
and lawful good paladins being assholes.
Lawful good paladins can be good. I think my next character might be lawful good.
Oh my goodness gracious me.
And I'll tell you what, I'm definitely more than happy for you to get a good deal at the shop.
Yeah.
Let's change out my pocket. I'm more than fine with that.
Yeah, so this is the last one. This is it.
Right.
This is the very last one.
It's the finale.
Yeah. So, no, this is a submission. I must have
final
submission from Sophie with a smiley face, and she goes by she, her.
Thank you, Sophie, for your submission.
Sophie. It is perfectly fine for a DM to restrict certain races and classes based purely on vibes. I don't allow peace clerics because their OP is a broken take, though. I'm not fucking allowing a plasmoid artificer astronaut from Spelljammer and a Curse of Strahd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think there should be a give and take when it comes to what DMs allow, and I'm all for reflavoring races/subclasses, but players have to buy into the tone of the campaign. And this is also not about people giving jokey, silly characters in a dark campaign. I'd say the same thing if it was an Edgelord Dampier Vengeance Paladin and a Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign. Everything goes. Kitchen sink style fantasy can be fun, but sometimes you just want a focused and specific genre for the campaign. Part of DMing for me is establishing an atmosphere and tone for the campaign, and I'm happy for players to play whatever they want mechanically, including reflavored Plasmoid Artificer, but players need to make characters fit the vibe of the campaign. The DM should set the tone with input from the players, and the players need to buy into that agreed upon tone.
An amazing take. Like the most well fucking written, thought out take going.
You know what? I think the first sentence of it's okay to restrict races and classes based purely on vibes. I feel like people like I can tell in the watch party people are like, I don't like this. I don't like how this is going. Because I did exactly the same when I first read it. But I actually don't think that's what Sophie's saying at all.
No, it's the opposite.
I think it's the actual opposite of what she's saying.
She baited you.
Yeah,
you've been baited.
You did the bait and switch.
Everybody out there watching this, you've just been baited.
We've all been baited.
I agree with this completely.
Yeah.
And I definitely didn't word this correctly last time I had this take because I was like, no. Like, yeah, I don't allow fucking artificer. And then I was like, no, I do if you flavor it right.
Yeah.
Like, you can come into my... Here we go. I'm going to use the exact same example.
Here we go.
And everyone's going to be like, you fucking changed your mind, you I said the word. No! I said the naughty word.
No, he said the naughty word. He said the nasty, stinky word.
I said the nasty, stinky word.
He said the see you next Tuesday word.
Yeah, the YouTube won't allow.
Margaret, please have edited that out.
I've written it and it literally says
Thank
it
you.
there.
Oh my God.
You can't change your mind, you silly bastard. Is that as bad?
No, it's okay.
Okay, that one's okay. So you can play an artificer Warforged.
Don't point that at me.
In my Norse-based campaign that doesn't have automatons in, because we can just flavor it however you want.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to be like, there's Gelder and Vikings and... Shut up. Shut up.
Yeah.
I know there is. I played Valheim. I've read about Nidavellir and the city of the dwarves. I know, but it's just not in my campaign. Anyway, Like, that's the thing. If I'm playing a Norse-based campaign and you're like, I want to be a artificer plasmoid from out of space.
Yeah. That's listen, like, yeah.
If you want the mechanics of the plasmoid and the mechanics of the artificer, you can have all those things. Let's just make it fit the theme of the campaign.
Yeah. I completely agree. Like, I couldn't agree more with what Sophia said,
100%.
honestly. And like, the thing is, it's the anime thing where it's like, oh, that has to be the main character because they have pink hair and everyone else has brown hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you're the heroes.
Yeah.
You're the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
You're obviously going to be different and stand out. But I agree. I think, what did she say? A plasmoid artificer astronaut from Spelljammer and Curse of Strahd. Yeah, I agree.
It's just not going to fit.
Yeah.
And like, we love the whole, like, you can do whatever you want, but at the same time, it is right. Like, campaigns have tone.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I love like a tone of my campaign.
Yes.
And a setting, and everything sort of like sits within that theme. And I do make a conscious effort to, when I'm describing things, like make you feel like you are within that world.
No, I agree.
And if you come in and you're just a jelly blob from out of space that's like tinkering with things that don't exist, then I'm going to be like, you're kind of killing the vibe of my campaign.
Yeah.
And it's not your fault. Like, I understand that you just want to have the mechanics of the class and the race.
Yes.
But at the same time, let's just make it
reflavor
fit.
it.
Let's just make it fit. I think this is actually unpopular.
Okay.
Because I think a bunch of people are like, nah, the DM's just trying to take all my options away. How am I supposed to have fun? It's like,
I know, yeah.
They're not trying to do that. They're just trying to keep a theme. They're just trying to keep things that all feel right.
Yeah. And like, you know what? Not every game and not every DM will care. Do you know what I mean? Like, not every DM will care about having a theme or I saw the finger waggling.
It's like a dress code.
Okay. Right.
It's a dress code.
Okay.
It's like, if we're going to a formal suit and tie event and you turn up in your slouchy shorts and your t-shirt, like, you're going to look out of place.
That's what
a theme is.
Yeah.
It's like,
I agreed. See, I don't agree with dress codes at all, to be honest.
For events.
Yeah, even then, like, I don't know. I think dress codes are silly, and I think
Fair enough.
Dress codes are unfair on lower income people as well. And I feel like that's a whole other thing. Oh my god,
that's a whole different thing.
But no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Like, everyone, like, it's a dress up party.
Yeah. It's like a fancy dress, and then you turn up in like your normal.
Yeah, no, yeah. I totally agree. And not everyone's gonna want it. No, I know. I'm sorry. I
don't know why fancy dress things aren't or dress codes aren't a thing.
I don't know.
I've never really had this conversation.
No. It's something that I've kind of grown the opinion on after watching like loads of videos about like the social economic stuff.
Fair.
Anyway. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And again, if someone had turned up to your Norse-themed campaign as a plasmoid artificer astronaut, and they wanted to theme it exactly like that, it would have been fucking weird.
You know, like, at that point, it's like, you can be the plasmoid artificer who's maybe not from here.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine, but like, I'm saying no.
But
I don't want to say no to the plasmoid artificer.
Just theme it in a certain way, and
slightly differently.
I feel this is what I was gonna say. Like, I feel like so many, especially maybe like newer DMs, they're worried about the repercussions of reflavoring something. But in my opinion, reflavoring is just changing the way something looks.
Flavor has nothing to do with mechanics. You need to like understand early on that those two are different things.
Totally. And there doesn't have to be a mechanical reason for flavor.
No.
And sometimes I would say actually most of the time when you insist that there has to be a mechanical reason for flavor, what's the point in flavor at all?
Yeah.
It was like a horror story we read where an artificer, when they did cure wounds, they injected you with like some weird, like
nasty liquid.
Yeah.
And
that's just a flavor thing, but the DM insisted they had to roll on a table.
It has to be a mechanical thing for this thing that you're saying. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I think reflavoring is completely fine. I agree. Totally
reflavoring is a really great thing to do.
And I agree. I think, the players... there does need to be a level of buy-in.
Yeah, there needs to be a level of buy-in. There needs to be a level of like, I understand what you're saying. Let's find out a way for it to work for both of us.
Totally.
I really want to play a bugbear, but there's no bugbears in your world, so let's just call me a very tall, hairy man with long arms. Done. Finished.
I don't like that at all. But yeah, I think this is once again popular. I don't. You know what? I don't know.
I think people would be like, nah.
Yeah.
I want to be plasmoid from outer space.
Yeah.
I want to be, and it's just
Stop
like,
trying to restrict me.
stop trying to restrict me.
And I hate the like, don't take it so seriously. It's like, you know,
that's
not fair.
That's not for you to say. I'll take anything as seriously as I want to take it.
Exactly, agreed.
But
yeah, I think, you know, us and I think our community will be like, yeah, absolutely, popular.
Like, 100%.
But I don't know about the people en masse.
The people en masse.
People
Well, we'll
en
find
masse.
out. What do you think?
What do you think? Tell
popular
us en masse.
or unpopular? Do you agree with it or not?
Yeah.
I want to hear from you.
That's it. That's all you get. That's all of them.
Finished.
How many was that?
That was 13.
13.
13
There you
unpopular
go.
opinions.
13 unpopular opinions. What do we think?
About an hour and 45, I think.
Yeah, what do we think?
Love that.
Did we agree with all of them?
No.
No. Surely not.
There was a few that we did not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. We're so glad you like these videos. This is definitely one of my favorite ones as well.
I love doing all the commentary stuff.
Yeah,
it's
me
very
too.
fun.
Me too.
I'm the asshole, unpopular opinion, horror stories, house rules, the advice. It's all great.
Agreed. I completely agree. And if you have any, please send them in. Like, thank you so much to the people who sent in the submissions for this. We didn't expect to have so many submissions for the unpopular opinions.
I did
so
not.
Thank you, and please send them in.
Send yours in.
Send your hot takes in. I promise. See, Lief, we didn't kill you.
Be like Lief. Have an unpopular opinion, but send it in.
Yeah, we just we just flicked you gently on the nose, Lief.
You're banned from the Discord.
Yeah, you're banned. So that's it. We hope you enjoyed. We really did. And we'll catch you on Monday and give you the big campaign update.
Shill.
Shill.
Gonna hit you with the shills. www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk. Go pick yourself up a logo t-shirt, a heavy metal t-shirt, or a logo t-shirt with the back print on. Squad Blasters. Our Hellbound dice shop sells all goods from notebooks for your campaign, personalized notebooks, t-shirts for your classes, mugs, badges, tokens for inspiration, all sorts of beautiful things there. Enter code PODBLAST for 10% off our shop. We love you very much. Hit the like button. Comment with all of your opinions on these rules. Hit the bell to be notified when we upload a video on a Monday and a Thursday.
If you're in the watch party, get yourself ready to do the crab rave.
Yeah, join the Discord if you haven't already.
Get them crab. Oh.
And if you have not subscribed already, I know that the majority of you have.
Thank
you all very much. I love you very much.
I love you very much.
Bully loves you very much. We've been the Eldritch Podblast, and we'll see you on a Thursday. Bye.